Warm-up show to R.E.M. live at Supersonic. The live show will take place in about an hour. And I'm going to have the chance to talk to Michael and to Mike and to Peter about this album that was just released. And it's best of album.
Yes.
And it's called In Time.
Yes.
The best of R.E.M. 1988, 2003.
Yes.
Welcome, Michael.
Thank you.
Great pleasure to have you.
It's good to see you again.
Thank you. I was taking a look at the titles of the songs that were included on the album. And is it very hard to select what do you think is the best out of your long career?
No, it was very easy. We came up with, each of us came up with a list of the songs that we thought should be on the record, and they were remarkably similar. There were maybe one or two songs that we talked about, and it was very easy to choose. Harder was to write the two new songs to go with the songs that we're best known for.
Yeah.
And I thought going into the studio, this will be easy, 2 songs, 3 weeks, nothing. And then I realized they have to be as good as the songs that people know us the best for. So we worked a lot harder on those 2 songs than I expected to. But
did it take longer than 3 weeks to?
Oh yeah. Well, to write them, to pick them, to write them, to pick them, than to record and mix them.
How were they born, those songs, those 2 new songs?
Well, Bad Day, which is the single right now,
yeah,
was a song that, when we decided to look back for the first time in our career, we wanted to go to some of the songs that never quite got finished or never wound up on a record. And Bad Day was one of these songs that was kind of put on a top shelf. We dusted it off and wrote new lyrics and completely rewrote the song. And really liked the way it turned out. And then Animal was written very, very quickly. And it's just one of the songs that kind of fell out of us.
All right.
It's the one that I love doing live right now.
Did you all work together on the writing, or
yeah,
did just somebody come with an idea and take it from there?
Well, either Mike or Peter came up, or maybe together they came up with the music, and then I wrote the lyrics in about 20 minutes.
And what are the lyrics about?
What are they about? That's a good question. I think it's about instinct. I think it's about I feel that the whole last century, part of the advancement of humankind is that we've forgotten how to trust our gut or how to believe in our own instinct. We think we're very, very clever because we can fly in planes and we can drive automobiles and we can argue about politics and about other things. But I actually think animals are maybe more clever than we are. We've forgotten that we are also animals.
We forgot about the instinct, basically.
Yes. So I'm trying to bring it back, one song at a time.
Yeah.
That's really loud and annoying.
Were there any specific criteria behind the selection of the songs? Like, did you agree with the others that, okay, we can pick such songs based on this criteria or not? Or was it just, free choice, free decision?
Well, because it's a best of, it should have been songs that were released as singles. There were a few obvious songs that were very big hits in different parts of the world that we left off. Simply, the one that comes to mind is Shiny Happy People, simply because it's a song that was written for kids. And I don't think it's really appropriate on this record. There were other songs like Night Swimming, which did chart somewhere in the world in the top 100, somewhere, I'm sure of it, that it just felt like it was rounding out the material that people really know well. And it's also, it's a fan favorite.
Do you ever grow tired of songs?
Yes. None of the songs on this record, I like all of them, actually. I like performing all of them.
How did you see the music change and, the big artists of the decades change? Like, what we have today is it's very poppy, if you can call it.
It's very pop, yeah. The changes that have occurred, to me, seem to repeat themselves. And I think, having been around for a while and having done this for a while, I recognize these cycles. And what it boils down to, I think, is that very new ideas happen in the underground and on the fringe, and they're slowly co-opted into the mainstream. This happened with punk and new wave. It happened again 10 years later with hip-hop. The music that's on the radio is often not the best music that's around.
No.
So to be a radio band is not really something to strive for or to desire. I like it when our songs are hit singles because I work really hard on the songs. I work really hard at everything else, and I like for people to hear the music. If they really like a hit single, maybe they buy the record and they hear all the other songs, and that create an entire album or create a whole way of thinking. But I think things are really about the same. The music that's on the radio is very pop, and a lot of it is made to be on the radio. Every now and then something sneaks through, whether it's R.E.M. or Nirvana, or U2 or Khalees, you know, something very, very good will kind of pop up in the charts, or DMX. But for the most part, it's about the same as it was, I think.
Was there a decade out of the 80s and 90s and this early 2000 that you enjoyed the most, being a musician at that time?
In terms of music?
Yeah.
Music?
You felt you were part of something, and it was a way stronger feeling than, in a different decade.
No, I always felt I was part of something. I think it kind of came around the time of Nirvana's ascension, because I didn't realize the degree to which other people had listened to R.E.M. and had been informed by the decisions that we made and how we made them, how we carried out our career, seemed to make a huge difference in the newer bands that were coming along. And that was not something that I would have expected. So that was kind of a big surprise.
How would you tell like a nephew or a kid what your job is and what you do? And
I have to tell my nephews and my nieces, in fact, but I don't have to say very much because they all know. They see me on TV. They
must
know.
be quite proud.
Well, they are, but I think they think that I hang out with Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake, and sometimes I do. But
so they listen to the radio a lot.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is that they think I do when I'm not having Easter dinner with them or having Christmas dinner with them. I think they think that I'm in a jet all the time and hanging out with other famous people, and we're all having video awards all the time or something.
So they always catch the flary side of it.
Yes, the glamorous side.
The glamorous side of it.
They don't see the work.
Do you feel blessed by?
Yes. I don't feel like a special person. I don't think I am. I have nice cheekbones and I've got a good voice, but I don't feel like I just feel very lucky. I happen to have stumbled upon a couple of records when I was a teenager that had a profound influence on me, and I decided well, Patti Smith, her first album I bought the day that it came out, Television, Marquee Moon, and the attitude amongst those musicians was that we're not special people, anybody can do this. And as a 15-year-old, I took that very literally, and I said, well, I'll do it too. This is what I'll do with my life. That was a very naive teenage gesture, but I followed through with it. And then I had the luck and the fortune and the good timing to find people who shared my passion for music and who in fact had incredible hidden talents as musicians and songwriters. And as we started making records, our abilities as songwriters, I think, became better and better. To where by our third or fourth album, I think we were very accomplished. And then of course we stumbled and made horrible mistakes, and that happens. But I'm really proud of the fact that one of the decisions that we made right from the beginning was that everyone in the world will advise you as to what you're supposed to do in order to be successful. If you're in a band, they will say, you need to wear red boots, and you need to have this haircut, and you need to stop singing like that, and you need to sing like this, and I want you to write love songs. And I'm like, okay, that's great advice, thank you. And I wouldn't listen. And we did exactly what we wanted to do. So the mistakes that we've made in 23 years, I'm very proud to say they're our mistakes. And that's very freeing.
Thank you, Michael. We'll continue this conversation with Michael Stipe. We're going to have Mike Mills in a few moments, and we're just going to enjoy a little break. See you soon.
Come on, everybody!
Welcome back. You're watching the warm-up to R.E.M. live at Supersonic. That's going to take place in just a bunch of minutes. And I'm here with Mike Mills. Hi, Mike.
Hello.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm good.
Good to see you. You enjoying some red wine?
Yes, I am, actually.
You shouldn't put it in a plastic
Well,
glass.
it's all they gave us.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you didn't have a choice. Is it Italian wine?
Of course it is.
Yeah? Then salute. That's what we
Salute.
say. Yeah, cheers. In time, the best of R.E.M. 1998. 1988, 2003 has over 20 years of music in it, and I think it gives us the chance to realize what the trademark sound of R.E.M. is. And what do you think is the...
Well, I kind of like the fact that I don't think we really have one, except that, of course, Michael's voice will always be recognizable. Peter does have a certain style on guitar that's recognizable, but he's certainly grown and changed it as the years have gone by. But he does have a very good arpeggiated picking style that I think people can recognize.
How have you seen your sound change over the years?
Well, you know, I never, like I said, I don't think we had a sound, but I think we've just been willing to experiment over the years. We've been willing to try whatever we wanted to get something interesting. Basically, it's in the service of the song. You do whatever you have to do in the studio to make the song as fully realized as possible.
What is going on with the writing of the new material? I read that more than 30 songs have been written already, and some, like 8-9 songs, a very good song, like top quality songs.
That's possible.
What does it sound like? How is it?
Well, it's hard. It's hard to say. You know, it's we've got a couple of slow, beautiful ones that I really like. We've got a couple of kind of stranger, more psychedelic ones, and then a bunch that we're still fleshing out, that are still in, you know, sort of more amoeba-like phases. And we also, you know, I've got a few that I haven't demoed yet. I think Peter's got some new ones that I think might be better than what we've got already. So that's one thing we're looking for, is to go back in the studio with some even newer songs, and hopefully beat the ones that we've got down already.
Do you guys demo stuff independently, and then do you just, you know, Peter, listen to this, I think it's a good idea, or do you always work together?
No, it's since Peter moved to Seattle some years ago, we get together a lot less frequently. So I'll do my stuff in Georgia, and Peter will do his stuff in Seattle, and then we'll hand it to Michael and let him work on it. But then we also find that when we get together for whatever reasons, whether it's to rehearse for a tour or to get in the studio and start working on stuff, you know, we're always sitting around with guitars and piano and what have you, and stuff comes out, just like back in the old days when we were always hanging out in the same house.
And when you write something, does the place where you're at have an affection on what do you actually write? Like, can you be laying on a couch and, you know, coming up with a top song, or you have to be in the studio? It really has no bearing. I've written songs on pianos in the hallways of rehearsal studios. My girlfriend of some years ago was subletting an apartment in Chicago that happened to have a piano in it, and I wrote Electrolyte on that. You never know where the inspiration will strike you, and that's why, you know, you try to, whenever you see a guitar or a piano, you try to sit down and play it, because that may be the moment that a song comes out. So piano would be your instrument of choice when you have to write music?
No, not necessarily. I like both, because you get completely different songs, but sometimes you write a song on piano and it turns into a guitar song. But I like the sort of breadth that it gives what R.E.M. does, because if Peter and I only wrote on guitar, we'd have a lot of really great songs, but we'd lose a little bit of flavoring and texture that you get when you write on piano. And Peter, of course, writes on piano as well. So you write a different sort of song on piano than you do on guitar. I was listening to the Beatles. McCartney's stuff on piano was certainly different than what they wrote on guitar, and it's nice to have that luxury.
Can you write fast songs on a piano?
No, I can't write fast songs because I can't play very fast on a piano. That's I have to be very careful to only write things I can actually play. I have limitations on the piano, and that's fine because I'm not a virtuoso, and I never intended to be. But I just try to write things that I think are interesting and that are sort of within my range.
Would you call yourself a rhythmic bassist or a melodic bassist?
I'm definitely a melodic bassist, I think. Although I've learned more about shutting up, you know, as the years have gone by. I always felt like I played bass like the left hand of a piano. Not on purpose, but that's just sort of what came out. I hear melodies within songs, and you know, occasionally those will come out in the background harmonies and melodies that I sing. But a lot of times the melodies I hear, I play on bass, and sometimes they're get that man a cough drop. Sometimes. I hear them and it's not exactly your standard bass line. So, you know, I stay away from the root notes sometimes. I play chords. I play things that you know, your standard studio bass player wouldn't play. And it's partly because I'm ignorant, or you know, certainly I was when I started.
Maybe because the piano had an influence on that.
Well, yeah, I think so, because that's what I started with. But I really like the fact that you know, one thing good about R.E.M. songs is there are melodies going on everywhere. You know, the bass has a melody, the guitar has a melody, Michael's voice has a melody, my parts, and you know, in the beginning Bill's parts had melodies, and I think that it makes for a very rich texture, and it gives you more things to listen to as you listen to the songs over time. You can pick things out that you might not have heard the first few times.
I was playing again with Bill Berry.
It was pretty cool. I saw him standing on the side of the stage when we started Radio Free Europe, and so I ran over and grabbed him, and you know, of course he didn't want to get on stage, but I said, come on, sing the part with me. It's what we used to sing, you know, and because now when we do Radio Free Europe, which is not very often, there's no harmony. I just sing the part by myself, yeah. And so I said, come out and sing the harmony. So I literally grabbed him and yanked him on stage, and once we got him out there, Bill Rieflin was really cool about it, and we threw him behind the drums.
How did it feel? Was it
an
emotional moment?
It was fairly emotional, except that I had recently played with Bill. We did I put a band together in Athens to play a political rally for a local candidate back in October of last year, and Bill was the drummer I recruited for the band. So I've been playing with Bill off and on occasionally.
Is he still confident with playing drums?
Oh yeah, he's still great. He plays music out at his house. I mean, he's got a little setup out there where he plays guitar and drums and piano and bass and harmonica, sometimes all at the same time. So it's not like he's completely out of music. He just didn't want to, you know, do the band thing anymore.
There are a lot of props on your stage, and Peter's got his dinosaurs, and you have that Godzilla, which I thought it was, well, you know, somehow related to a dinosaur, and I didn't feel, you know, entitled to
push the button.
Oh,
go ahead. I mean, he's only recently started making noise again. Bob Weber, my bass technician.
Where'd you get it from?
I don't know where I got that. I
Japan,
probably got it in Japan.
Yeah,
yeah, they love Godzilla there, and so do I. I love Godzilla, but his eyes light up and he roars, and it used to be that his mouth would move. And he quit making noise, and his mouth quit moving, and now Bob's got him to make the noise again, but his mouth still doesn't move.
And how about the tag you have there?
Oh, Mr. Meat Science? That's,
exactly.
We played the University of Wisconsin in Madison some years ago with a great band called the Neats. And we played in basically the pig barn, the agriculture barn. And they had all these strange things relating to, you know, swine research and bovine research and all this weird agricultural stuff, and one of the things they had was a little tag that said Mr. Meat Science.
You stole it?
Yeah,
you took it.
I lifted it. Yeah.
Thank you very much, man.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Okay, we'll be coming back soon, right after this break. Welcome back to the warm-up show of R.E.M. live at Supersonic. It's time to talk to Peter Buck. Thanks for being here.
Sure, thank you.
Peter, I was on stage earlier on, and I saw that huge collection of dinosaurs, and I was wondering why dinosaurs are so important to your life.
You know, I've just always had them on my amp since the band started, and now people bring me dinosaurs. So when I'll give them away or I'll lose some, I get some new ones in. It's also just nice to look back and see something you recognize back there.
It's really nice. Your set of amps is like all little.
You know,
your Vox and your Savage, and they're all like kind of.
I use an old Silvertone, and I use a Vox, and very small cabinets. You can get a really loud, great sound out of small things. If you get a huge Marshall stack, you have to play so loud to get the tone you want. I just don't want to play that loud, you know. And I've got I could do a lot of different things with what I got up there.
So let's talk about this best of R.E.M.
Michael said that you all had your input on deciding the songs, and you all agreed
on the songs that were going to end up on the collection. Which are your favorite songs out of the collection? And do you feel like there's something that's missing out that should have been there?
You know, best of is going to be the singles and the hits, and most of those I like a whole lot. But some of my favorite R.E.M. songs, you know, were never played on the radio. Sweetness Follows, I love that song. You know, Electrolyte, that did make the record, wasn't a huge hit really anywhere, but I've always loved that song. So it was a matter of picking the stuff that we felt represented ourselves the best, and then also that people wanted to hear. You know, you couldn't put it out without Losing My Religion, A Man on the Moon, and Everybody Hurts. But I think it makes sense as a package.
So in all your years of career, have you ever made your own best-of tape?
I never listen to our records, never.
You never do?
Never. The only time I listen to a record...
Not even after the release of the album?
I listened to the test pressing, I okay the test pressing, then I just filed it away, never listen again.
Why is that?
I don't know. I don't get a lot of pleasure out of going back and listening to them, you know, I think most musicians are that way. You spend a lot of time writing these songs and working on them, and then when you're done with them, you're finished. It's time to go on to the next thing.
It's the same thing when you play them live?
Live is different because every night it's a different song, and you feel it differently, and you're in a different mood, and so that's, you know, that's kind of, you're reinventing the song. Like, to go back, I would never think of putting on one of our records and playing it, you know.
I read that you already wrote about 30 songs for the new album. And
they're not all finished, but we're getting there.
Yeah, and probably 9 are very good songs, very strong songs. That's true.
I think we could put a record out tomorrow if we mixed it. But there's some things we want to work on. I think we've got 5 or 6 of my favorite things we've ever done, and I want to write the songs that are as good as those songs. You know, we have to make a great record. Every year you make a record that has to be a great record, but it feels within reach. So we're going to go back in the studio and work some more this next year.
What do they sound like, especially those great ones?
A lot of them are kind of quiet, acoustic-y things, but there's some kind of psychedelic stuff too. And depending on what songs we finish, you know, we never know what the rest of the record is going to sound like.
How did you feel to play songs that you haven't played for a long time, like I don't know, Radio Free Europe, or you know, Permanent Vacation, or all the old tunes like World Leader, Pretend?
Some of those songs we hadn't played in 15 or 17 years, and you know, they held up well. They felt like good songs. It also kind of reminded me of the kind of person I was when we wrote them, you know. I mean, World Leader is 13 years old. I was like 30, you know, 32 or something.
And how did it feel?
A little strange, but it felt good, you know. It reminded me of being young, you know, and it kind of put me in that place, especially if there's songs that I hadn't really listened to at all in, you know, many years.
So, to go through those songs, you had to listen to them again?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you have to go back and relearn them. Yeah. I mean, I don't have them all in my computer memory or anything. So I'm kind of, you know, some of them particularly, I just didn't even remember the first note. But you know, once you listen to them once, and all of a sudden it comes back.
So sometimes you don't remember your riffs, or you know.
Yeah, or what key
chords,
it's in. A lot of times, you know. But you know, I've written 200 or 300 songs, and I just can't remember them all at once. You know?
That's funny. How about the remix album that came out last year?
Yeah, it was Michael worked with a lot of people, the younger people, remixing a lot of our songs. We never actually put it out as an album, but we put it up on the website so people could download it, and it's cool. I like doing collaborative work with other people.
You have a direct contact with your fans through your website, and sometimes I read that they make the set list, or that helps you decide the songs of the set list.
Well, I definitely wanted to have some input from people who are coming to the shows, and you know, in the last 4 or 5 years, with our fan club and the website, it became kind of easy to get in touch with people and them to get in touch with us. So, yeah, we take requests. You know, people write in and ask what particular song they want and why. I kind of like that. It makes it more interactive, and you know that there are people that are waiting to see if their song makes it. They don't all, because we get a lot of requests, but I enjoy the process. I think it's kind of cool.
I'm quoting you. There really isn't a radio format that we fit into anymore. Why do you think that happened?
Well, it's particularly in America. There's about 2 big conglomerates that own every radio station, and they basically run them, you know, for profit, which of course is what they are. Their business is for profit, but you know, there really isn't a format for music that you have to think about very much. You know, it's teen pop, top 40, love ballads. Well, we don't fit in. Tough, you know. It doesn't bother me.
So how would you find out about new bands, about, you know, new artists or...
I hang around record stores, you know. I talk to people, and I go see bands that I read about.
Do you go to see a lot of gigs?
Well, not as much as I used to. You know, I've got a family and all that, but I probably go out a couple nights a week, see shows.
And who have you seen that capture your attention?
Well, I've been on the road for 4 months, but this summer, at the festivals, I saw Cosmic Rough Riders are really good. We worked with Ed Harcourt and Wilco, of course. They're really wonderful. Sparkle Horse. I saw Pete Yorn. Who else did I really love? Worked with Feeder. They're a cool band. Just trying to remember all the bands we played with.
How do they react when you know that R.E.M. are fans of, you know, their
you
music?
know, I mean, the same way when, you know, when someone that I grew up listening to will say, "Oh, I like your music." It's, you know, kind of, it's pleasing and exciting and a little weird.
Do you listen to a lot of music?
Yeah, a lot. And I hear it a lot. I'm around it a lot. You know, so even if I'm not playing a particular record in my house or my car, you know, I'm backstage and someone's playing it, or I'm doing a show and the band's playing next door, or I'm doing an interview with somebody and there's something playing. So I do hear a lot of stuff.
Do you think there's still a lot of quality music around, or it's just getting reduced every day?
No, there's great stuff, tons of great bands and records coming out. It's just, you know, you're not going to really hear them on the radio very much.
Yeah.
So you have to go look for them, and that's cool. You know, those of us that do want to search a little harder for music are well rewarded.
Thank you, Peter.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you very
Good
much.
talking to you.
We're going to have a little break now, and then we'll be back with Michael Stipe. See you soon. Welcome back to this final part of this pre-show, this warm-up to R.E.M's Live at Supersonic. That's going to take place in just a few minutes. In fact, we're going to have to let Michael go, and so he's just going to enjoy his
I have to go put on my
here.
makeup.
Yeah.
To even it out. These people were asking me about this, and like, why blue? Why?
I don't know, maybe they're...
You wake up one morning and you want to have blue eyebrows. You know, why not?
Yeah.
Life is short. You should have blue eyebrows. It's so simple.
They're not ready for art or to face art every day.
I think it's time to move into the 21st century with
Exactly.
eyebrow.
Okay, speaking of your new song and the video, Bad Day, who had the idea of the video, first of all?
It was my idea.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And did Mike agree with being
The jaunty weatherman.
Yeah.
And Peter was the bookish expert who doesn't know how to dress and wears terrible glasses and has bad hair. and I was the erudite, kind of charming anchorman. And we found a tremendous director in Tim Hope, who is based in London. He worked tirelessly through the summer to bring the video together. So many moving parts and so many things happening. But they did a tremendous job to make it look like what would 24-hour U.S. news channel look like a year or 2 years from now if they keep jamming stuff onto the screen. So we had a really good time.
There's a lot of split screen, in fact.
A lot of split screen.
Yeah. So we had a lot of fun, and we're very happy with the fun.
We had a great time. I mean, obviously it's a satire of something that's begging to be parodied,
Yeah.
and I think we did a good job doing
Peter
that.
Gabriel did something like that too. You know, they took it against, you know, the Jerry Springer type of shows.
Oh, you did? I
Yeah,
never saw that.
one of his last videos, he did something like that. He did a parody, basically.
Okay.
Do you ever mistake your own lyrics?
Live?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember any of the times you actually mistook your lyrics?
There was a really good
What you
time.
said?
We were doing a live TV show in England, and I have the music stand on stage, and I had the two lyrics, and I knew that the host was gonna toss to us, and we start the song. So we're doing Lotus, I think, and the song Lotus, and but he said something really off the wall, and he's kind of a comedian, but not funny except to English people, I guess. I didn't really get it, but it was so unnerving to me. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what was that? And they started the song, and I had to come right in, and I started singing I just looked at the lyric sheet, and I started singing the lyrics to Losing My Religion with the melody of Lotus. And
Funny.
on live television.
When
and
did you realize you were actually, you know, mistaken?
When my face became like 25 degrees centigrade. I was just like, and I had to save myself on this TV show, and I guess I just looked so insane that no one really noticed. But I don't know. All the time, the lyrics sometimes don't make sense to me, or I've written a song so long ago, I don't know what it means anymore. So I forget the lyrics, and I just...
Now you have a prompter with you.
Yeah.
Little machine.
I have the machine sometimes, and I have the music stand, which is a little bit of a crutch. I don't really actually look at it that much, but knowing that it's there is very comforting.
R.E.M. stage is full of props and cool things, and this was on stage a few minutes ago during the sound check, and I was very surprised to see this, because this just reminded me of what Frank Zappa used to do. He used to give numbers. He used to assign numbers to songs,
Okay.
and then he picked 80 songs, made the musicians learn all 80 songs, and then he said tonight we play 1, 7, 21, 35, and I'm sure...
That seems like a lesson in futility.
Yeah, something like that. But, he's a very eccentric guy. But this is basically what did you do? You just picked all the songs that you wanted to play live?
We picked all the songs that we wanted to play live, and from time to time we add one to the end. And we pull this out at soundcheck, and every show that we do on tour or even on television is a different set. So we think about the place that we're at, we think about how much time we have, and we think about what do people want to hear. There's several songs that everybody always wants to hear, and that we love to play.
It's very versatile. It's very...
Yeah, it's very shifting.
Yeah.
And this just helps us remember the songs that we have. It's become kind of famous now,
Yeah.
and it's not very well done, but anyway, there it is.
I think it's really cool. It's like...
It's a little bit
Was
of
it fun to do?
a roadmap. It was fun to learn some of the songs that we hadn't thought about in years, and other songs that we had never really played. Tonight we're going to do World Leader Pretend.
Cool.
Which we only started doing, I think, a month ago on tour. And it's a great song, and we all forgot how much fun it was to play. So
That's the good thing about this, going through, scorching through a whole career. So what can we expect from tonight's gig, apart from,
World Leader
a selection
Pretend.
of... Beautiful.
And I think about 9 other, 9, 10, 12, 15, 14, 6, 9 more of those. 9 to 12. I don't know how many we're doing.
Well, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to enjoy your concert tonight.
I
and
hope so.
In the meantime, go take a look at Bad Day, R.E.M's new video.